We'll look later. Doesn't technically matter how close we are. Anyway, today we're playing the blue-white approach list again. I've been wanting to rerun it for a while. It's very close to Brad 75. I finally took the commit out of the main deck and put into blink. I decided, since we had a definite kill condition and approach, that we didn't really need to commit anymore, and that Brad was just right about the blink. And other than that, I wouldn't mind to have another Glimmer, but considering, like yesterday when we played, we got paired versus 6 mono red decks and 1 red black deck in the 10 rounds that we played on stream. So that makes me want to shave on Glimmers a little bit, since they're cards I'd be sideboarding out anyway, and I think Search is a little bit better in game 1 than Glimmers, so... And I just think Search is an uncuttable card. Also, because of that stuff, we've changed the sideboard similar to how Javier Dominguez did at Grand Prix Copenhagen, derp. And we added the Lyra over the 4th settle, and then we brought in 2 approaches, two authorities, and one of them was over a Torrential Gearhulk, and I'm not entirely sure about that, or if I'm just, and the other one was over an Invoke the Divine. There's not been a lot of Hardikarans and stuff on Moto lately, but like I'm probably going to regret that because there's only 3 cast outs. But long story short, I probably could have took it over to Sorcerer's Spyglass instead, but we are where we are. Again, I don't know if I'm slanting myself too much versus red after exactly 1 day, but I find that to be some of the hardest matchups anyway. And unfortunately, because we are running very light on time today, we're just going to have to jump into the matches. Might not be able to think as clearly as we normally would. Some things come up at the last minute. I know it's just like 1:46, and that theoretically means I have, 22 hours to get this stream in, but I have to do some sleeping, and I basically have an entire day that I'm super busy tomorrow, and I have a few more things I have to do tonight, which is the bad problem. Well, we can't keep this in. We have no early interaction on the draw. We can't just keep a Teferi and Rock. We have another double Teferi hand, but I'm just not willing to mulligan it. I'm going to go ahead and dump the disallow there, because if it's anything like these red decks, it's just going to be too slow, and we're going to need to draw something. If it's a blue-white deck or an Esper deck, we're going to feel miserable about doing that, because it's like clearly one of the best cards possible. So it is another control deck. Hey George, thank you for the host, my friend. If they have a Syncopate or a Negate, they just have Syncopate or Negate. I'm always going to just jam this on 2. Just every single time we see it. Could have Blink of an Eye or anything. I would jam it back into Disallow as well. Also, they're playing Drakehaven. This match is probably miserable, and we no longer have to invoke the Divine in the sideboard, which is going to make it even worse than normal. That's a little disappointing. As opposed to last season, well, not necessarily last season, but like when Teamer and everything was still legal, you just 100% lost to Drakehaven with these type of decks. They were not winnable. And I can't imagine that that's gotten much better. So Search for Azcanta, we're pretty likely to keep literally any card, even basic lands here, because we have such a high density of deadish spells in our deck that like getting a land's better than getting like a Fumigate or a Seal Away or a Settle to Wreckage, or an Essence Scatter, anything like that. So like lands are even better than those. I know it seems a little odd that we're just like randomly keeping a land on top of our library when we already have 2 lands in our hand. But it is entirely about the fact that there's just way too many dead spells in our deck. I probably should have played to reveal it there. That way next turn... Just want to present as much blue mana as possible. Again, not really willing to put that in a graveyard. I'm actually willing to use this in this spot. Just want to thin my deck, and we have a second Field of Ruin for the first Search for Azcanta they have. I don't even care too much if they disallow this. And I want more blue mana in general, and I want cards in my graveyard. We're down to 3 cast outs with this build. But one of the reasons that this match is so hard to win is because, like, Approach of the Second Sons costs 7 mana, Teferi costs 5 mana, Drake Havens costs 3 mana, Abandoned Sarcophagus costs 3 mana, and our Abandoned Sarcophagus is like draw 10 cards or whatever, you know, like it's already a draw 3 and we're on turn 7. It's just a very, very hard card to overcome, and it's easier for them to resolve threats and protect it than we are, and they have more counter spells typically. We're able to put both of these on the bottom. They just have more counter spells in general than we do, which is another big problem. Because like some builds run multiple negates main, but they might not have more counter spells than us. Like, we don't know their particular build, but like we have 5 counter spells in our main deck that's kind of relevant in this match. He's going after my search. We have to allow it. We also got to shuffle our disallow back into our deck that we'd put on the bottom of our library on turn 1 when we mulliganed. You see why I was just like, keeping a land there would have been better than an Essence Scatter. It's just we have so many dead cards. If he misses a land this turn, I'm tempted to use the Memorial of Genius. Always cast a search as soon as you can, so we don't care a whole lot if he resolves a Teferi. It does less than one might would imagine here. Obviously it's a good spell, but it's not the end-all be-all. Him resolving 2 Drake Havens or something would come close to tapping him out. Him resolving 1 Drake Haven would suck, but it's not the end of the world. But we don't have any counterspells anyway, and he's getting to the point in the game where he's going to stop playing around things and test the water. So it's just better to go ahead and get something like this resolved, because if we ever win a counterspell war on his turn later, or if we run him out of his countervailing winds, we're probably a pretty big favorite. The only card he could resolve this turn that's like super impactful, well, I mean, there's more cards that are impactful, but the only card that I would be afraid of, like that I would think I can't beat, is an Abandoned Sarcophagus. I think we can basically beat anything else that's resolved right now. If he doesn't even have a land, casting a Teferi is not a great proposition, because it's going to be too easy for us to resolve our own Teferi and tug his and only need 1 counterspell to protect it. We don't have that counterspell, but, you know, we've gone 25 cards deep in our deck, or whatever, if you include the double scry from the Glimmer. So, like, he can't imagine that we have 0 counterspells here. And yeah, even if he does, or we don't draw the counterspell and he resolves Teferi, we're just going to play Teferi the next turn and Teferi the next turn, so doesn't really change much. If we draw a land on either of our next 2 draw steps, we'll literally like get this Teferi counterspell, then cast Teferi on the same turn, assuming he has a counterspell. But, yeah, I'm just babbling now. Opponent's lost connection to the game. And opponent's back. Thought they were having a good long think, but apparently they were just DC'd. What are you into today, George? That's moderately disappointing. So this is almost definitely going to get counterspelled. I have not seen the new thing that they just spoiled. Could have looked for a negate there, but I don't really want to. Destroy all creatures or artifacts or enchantments. That's pretty good. Now that card's scary. Again, I could have looked for the one negate, but I wanted to keep disallow propositions up. So he's hit the third hard counter spell to our 0. It's generally a bad sign, and he gets to flip the first search for Azcanta. I messed up and I shouldn't have tapped the Field of Ruin. That was just dumb of me. Wow, that was really, really bad of me. That's one of the worst things I've done in a while. And I make bad plays all the time, so that one's just especially bad. Let's keep on keeping on is what we're doing with these Teferis right now. Could tuck this, but not concerned about it. Just want to keep this loyalty high. So hit a sensor, they're going to cycle the sensor. Make them a Drake. So it's just like a fumigate that can do other things. I don't care a whole lot about that. Well, Fumigate's going to be rotating fairly soon too, so this is going to see standard play, right? So they have 5 cards in their hand still. No, I think Ixalan survives that, don't they? Alright, well, we're going to have to tuck that or we can't win. Not happy that I have to tuck that. The card's just too strong. Alright, well, I'm going to go for this. If they have Negate in their main deck, we probably lose. If they just have another Hieroglyphic Illumination, we win. I think just the Kaladesh block and the Omnicat block rotate, but I won't swear. Okay, so we're versus a blue white control deck. Obviously not one that we have much experience with. More of a Drakehaven list. Typically speaking, versus normal blue white control, you would take out these, and these, but this blue white control's a little bit different. I think we're still going to bring in these. They do a pretty large amount of work here. I think these. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. I think these do a pretty large amount of work here. I think these might be reasonable, but I'm not sure. Just bring them all in. What are you getting your copies of what? Oh, getting your copies of Settle. I think that's what we're talking about. I'm definitely cutting these. I'm probably cutting these. I don't know what else I really want to cut. Maybe I'm not going to cut Walking. Walking might not be good enough. Lyra may not be good enough either, actually. I don't really like the idea of Settle here, but I do like the idea of having a way to win if they get an early Drake. Or having a better way to win if they get an early Drake. It just doesn't seem good enough. Alright, I guess we'll try this. Looks like we're about one sideboard card shy. For a control match. Huh. So we had 2 Teferis in our opening. We mulliganed, drew 2 Teferis. Now we've drawn 3 Teferis. And we mulligan into a 1-lander, but we're going to keep it, even though it's completely miserable, because it has a high likelihood of playing turn 2 search, and that is the most important thing I can do on my side of the table. Second most important thing I can do is a turn 2 negate. Squee is holding my energy. But that is the most important things I can do. I thought this was a Memorial of Genius, so that was a misplay. I mean, leaving it on top was still correct, but... Apparently I can activate 3 extensions on my video player at once now. I have no idea what that means. But thank you for letting me know, Mr. Magic Online. Or not Mr. Magic Online, but Mr. Twitch. Opponent might be missing their land drop. That's great for us. Nope. We want our white lands, thank you. pretty good here. I think I'm gonna ditch that because the history's so good versus us. Unfortunately, I can't cast Settle here, which is a disappointing fault. And now they've hit Counterspell mana, so I guess I am just going to go ahead and cast Settle. Next turn. I mean, I'm not going to do it this turn. I want to get both knights, not just one. Oh, wow. Well, that's a problem. Any amount of counter spells is probably going to beat us now, but we sideboarded those in too. Not drawing them's not something we can worry about too much. Yeah, well, we're probably going to take 12 here. He doesn't want to counterspell Settle Wreckage. There's some chance he doesn't attack with them all. Problem is, considering we know he has no lands in his hand, or they have no lands in their hand rather, that if this Settled Wreckage resolves, we probably still just lose because they have 6 spells. Either way, like, we're not likely to beat whatever they're showing us here. Which is a real problem. We'll not put that in the graveyard because we need some way to be able to negate here. On this Settle, of course. They don't have to attack with all their creatures here either, which is another problem. They can attack with like 3 maybe even 2. 3 plays around Blinkety Eye. They probably have double counterspell. We're doing everything we can to stay alive. Now we can even be censored. I do use MTGO traders. I think the service is wonderful. I guess I'm not getting rid of that. He may not have a counterspell. Big fan of MTGO traders. It's a good chance they just have a counterspell here. Yeah, well. We're dead to lots of things. We have to discard that now to be able to flip to search. So that, well, so that we can cast this. It's our only chance to live. Any counterspell beats us. Alright, well, we get at least another turn. If they don't have a counterspell, that means we definitely have it. Oh wow, they should have probably looked for a negate. Because if they hit a negate off the Hieroglyphic Illumination, they win on the spot. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them not using the negate there. Wait, they had a censor. The game was over. They had a censor. Or I guess they could have drew the censor from the Hieroglyphic Illumination. Ha! So they potentially punted, depending on what's in their hand. I would probably use the Field of Rune here. Guess it didn't matter for them. We have no out now, but they don't have to know that. So we can pretend like we have a settle. They're not going to play around it. They're going to attack with something, so. Double history is hard to beat. Alright, I'm just going to scoop here. Do I want to change anything else? We did actually have another settle, by the way, but we didn't draw it. I don't think I want to change anything else. I forgot that we chose to settle over to fumigate at the last second. I almost want Lyras, but it just seem like they're hard to resolve and easy to like bounce with a Teferi or something. Alright, well anyway, let's get to keep 7 cards this time. That would be nice. Huh, there is a fly in my room. If you hear me scream very loudly and in a high-pitched noise, that means it landed on me. I think I forgot to post I was going live. Let me double check that real quick. Sorry about the delay. Yep, I had forgot to post that I went live. I am terrible at my job. It has been corrected. We will play first. This hand's a snap keep. Even though it looks like very, very bad. I'm never cycling this cast out, so there's no reason to lead with a plains. Technically gives me options, but I'm just not doing it, so there's no point. History, please? Nope. No history, please. And why do you have to have that again? It's kind of a tilt. Don't care if this gets counterspelled. I don't really want either of these. Don't much want either of those either. That's something I wanted. But we don't have a counterspell for it, so... Don't want to get censored, so I guess I'm going to play this land. Drakehaven. We simply cannot draw anything to save our lives. Probably going to cycle a cast out now. I think I give up. Actually, I'm probably still just not. Maybe I am. Definitely at least cycling to farmland. That felt like a good draw. Short. Problem 1, let's get rid of Drakehaven. Problem 2, get rid of Drakes. Still have 5 cards in their hand. This has to just be terrible, terrible, terrible for me. Alright, well this turn is going to be try to get rid of Drakes, I guess. Give our opponent a bunch of lands. Alright, they don't have a counterspell for that. I feel like you'd counterspell that because it's a 2-turn clock, but maybe not. Maybe you have something just a lot better. Maybe just trying to disallow that here. There's a good chance that if they can counterspell it, that they won't be able to get a Drake off this. Actually a very interesting choice now. If I took this, this could just die and I could just lose. Nice. Are you American? Are you going to GP or are you going to the other one? So they basically need another sensor, which isn't a great card in this match and often gets sided out, or they need like a cast out, which them cycling cast out seems better than them playing it for me. I think that was a good gamble. Singapore, nice. Never been there, but I forgot to attack with our knight, I think. Did I forget to attack with our knight? I did not forget to attack with our knight. Sweet! Perfect plays. Perfect plays. What deck are you going to play? Are you excited? Do you get to play a lot of Grand Prix? So we can Field of Rune next turn to try to make them not get that Drakehaven back. I thought about ticking up because it saves our Memorial of Genius from the Field of Rune. You're on Snake at the moment. Are you playing the Cunningham style or like one of a bunch of contempts and stuff? 10 a year in Asia. Wow, nice. What's your highest finish been so far? Please no Abandoned Sarcophagus. That's the unbeatable card. And we've only drawn one counterspell in like 20 some cards, so if they draw a card here, it's still not the Drakehaven, but they could tuck our Teferi. If they tuck our Teferi, they have to have a removal spell for their knight. They could tuck our cast out and just get a Drakehaven back and be able to protect the Teferi. That's interesting. Cunningham. Oh wow, you've won a Grand Prix. That's sick. Congratulations. Which ones you win? Like what deck and stuff? Please tell me you didn't hit. You hit. So we know Drakehaven's on top of their library too? That's going to be a hard combo to beat. Unless they cycled and I missed it. They could have just cycled last turn and I missed it. So I guess let's scroll up and look. Okay, they did cycle last turn. So I just missed it and I'm dumb. It's interesting. I think I'm going to attack their Teferi and see what happens. Then maybe cast this approach and hope they don't have a counterspell. Hey Sparrow, what is up, Josh? Joshua. I'm just going to play this. Feels like it's our best chance to win at the moment. We are really far behind. And without any relevant spells in our hand, we're just going to get further behind. We've hit 13 lands so far. And 9 spells, which is a little less than I would like, but... Wow, they're cycling a cast out. I guess they want to kill the Teferi that badly. Feels like they had better plays last turn if they just had cast out in their hand. Feels like they didn't have to make the lines that they made, which could potentially have just like died to any counterspell. Like they could have lost the game to a counterspell with the line they played, but like they didn't have to do that if they just had a cast out. I don't think. I feel like they just had a lot better options. Anyway, our Teferi's gonna die now, I assume. Opponent is playing Drakehaven. We got game 1, but we're losing the sideboarding games pretty badly. They have to have another counterspell at this point, right? They keep drawing counterspells, too. That's the big kicker here. Like last game, we drew no counterspells and just died to 2 histories real quick. In this game, they got to play 2 countervailing winds that are 1 disallow. Well, they have nothing to pitch, so at least that's good. They do get 2 draw steps this turn. They're still attacking, they're not even considering blocking, so I guess they have several things to pitch. They're going to main phase do it as well. Don't love them doing it main phase. Feels like main phase gives me more options than it gives them. Kind of want a Torrential Gearhulk and Glimmer, but that doesn't kill Teferi. I probably need a Torrential Gearhulk and Blink and try to kill Teferi. That doesn't seem particularly good. We're just like really far behind. I think history's fine in this matchup. If I'm on to play and it can come down a turn before Drakehaven and it can tax through mana for like a ton of turns, I guess I'm just casting this. I'll see if this resolves before I make a decision. It does not resolve, so my decision's irrelevant. And considering they get to flip the Search for Azcanta, I assume the game's over. No, they had another cycler, so the game is over. Unless they, for some reason, decide to block and not realize that they're lethal. I'll concede if they don't block. Alright, well, they didn't block. Yep, as usual, this game is as unwinnable as it seems. Especially when they draw 3 counter spells to my 1. I also cut the Invoke the Divine out of my sideboard for authority of the council, so it makes this matchup even worse. I would not even know what these cards do, Murph. I've not read the spoilers for Dominaria. Read like the blue and the white cards. Guess I'll look at it though. Oh, the picture's so little. You have a Siege Gang Commander and a Sarah Angel. And a Teshar. Doesn't seem like that in 3 Silhouettes. It doesn't seem like that can ever be bad. And a Shivan Fire. And a Fight with Fire. Yeah, you're high. That can't be bad. Well. We also mulliganed 2 out of the last 3 games, which hurts. And we're now mulliganing 3 out of the 4 games played so far. We need land, so we have to put that on the bottom. Really? Did we play a deck to try to beat the mono red decks? And just because we got paired versus 7 out of 10 rounds yesterday mono red? And just get paired versus mono good decks versus blue white today? Our opponents might be on the mono good decks that are good, or decks that are good versus blue white. If you have it, you're supposed to play it, regardless of whether I have it or not. Don't know what half of those words are in a context of Magic. Cool. We had one card in our hand. Now we have no cards in our hand. Settles don't really count as cards. A positive note is our opponent may have no cards as well. This is weird. This is the second day in a row we got paired versus black-white decks that have Doomfall in the main. And I find that particularly odd because black-white loses to the red decks and Doomfalls are bad versus red decks. So it seems like you're making your bad matches worse to make your good matches better, but like, if they're already good matches, I don't need them to be better. Well, we drew best card. Drawing best card is always fun. You can pay for a Syncopate now. That doesn't pay for a Syncopate. I think the black-white deck's actually better than a lot of people say. I'm not going to keep it even though it technically deals with the Knight of Grace. I don't care about the Knight of Grace, so it's easy to not care about dealing with it. JK. My RPTQs have already came and passed. My RPTQs was on the 10th. I did not get to play. Can't afford airfare to a different one. And I don't think my team can either. Yeah, it sucked. Everyone that's even like within like an 8 or 9 hour drive was all on the 10th. Like there's like the closest one's like a 15-hour drive or something. My vehicle gets 14 miles a gallon, so hard pass. So I just won't put that in my graveyard because I can win the game with it. I'm not sure what he can play that wins faster than approach from here. I would totally fly to one if I had a job and could afford it. I just physically can't afford it. I don't mind to fly to a Magic tournament. It's not that. I was just like physically cannot afford it. At least we're getting to see some cards. JK. We're getting to see one card. Yeah, so we know our approach is currently 7 on top. We'll keep that. So we know it's 6 on top. So we draw it next turn unless he has a way to shuffle our deck. To KUL. Where's KUL? Approach is a decent deck. I've not had a lot of luck with it. I do better with both the Esper deck and the blue-black midrange deck. I'm still pretty obsessed with blue-black midrange. Well, he has a Field of Runes, so there goes that idea. Kumalapur, nice. Get out of our deck, Demon of Belzanoff, or whatever the hell you're called. Fair. Probably going to mill myself regardless here, so that I can flip the search. And hope that we don't hit both approaches. We hit neither, so. And just die. Sounds like my RPTQ experience with the deck. Or not RPTQ, my PPTQ. What do you got this time, friendo? Gigantic Search? Or... Oh, that's a magic card. Should have took the disallow and just syncopated it. But at this point, I'm just clicking buttons because I think the game's over. Which is a bad way to play, by the way. That's how you lose. That's how you lose one games. Like, I don't think this particular game is losable, but like not paying attention could maybe I could find a way to lose. I'm starting to think that I couldn't find a way to lose now if I tried. Alright. So opponents on black-white mid-ranges stuff. We saw a Knight of Grace, a History of Banali, a Doomfall, a Josu, and a Demon Lord. What's the power and toughness on Demon Lord? Turn 5. You lost in limited, kicking it on turn 5. What? I'm lost at words. I do not know what happened. So he's a 6/6. So this thing doesn't do much good. I guess I kind of want this. I guess I kind of want these. Sure, I'll bring in these as well. I don't think Syncopate's particularly good on the draw, ever. I really want to take these out and bring in Gear Hulks, but like, it's what I want to cut. Like, I don't want them. Fine, I'll take out Fumigates and be miserable. He kicked the same one twice. That's insane too. You guys have a lot better stories than me. None of my stories are very good. I just like cast spells and smile. Track foes that already... Alright, already deciding that cutting my Invoke the Divine is just bad, because this is a match that I would have brought Invoke in. I probably should have cut some number of Syl away. I was thinking Knight of Grace would be really strong, but I guess it doesn't target the Knight of Manalia, and I wasn't thinking about that at all. That's just crazy. Opponent's got a sweet deck. They take my Glimmer? Sure, I'll put that in the graveyard. Keep my cast out so I can hit like a History or something. Or so I can hit that. JK. We never wanted to hit that anyway. He knows our hand here, so... Treasure map resolves. Alright, untap land. You can do it, deck. That's not an untap land. Wonder if it's ever worth cycling the casts out, because all I feel like is we need an untapped land there to basically win. Probably not. I feel like anytime you miss a land drop with approach, you just lose. Well, I'm definitely going to counterspell that. Actually, I'm going to just cycle this now. I don't want to miss another land drop. Kind of want to tuck this away. Mainly because I want to make sure I get some value out of the Teferi as opposed to none. And I think there's a high likelihood he could have like another cast out or another binding or just be able to resolve something that the Essence Scatterer can't kill. Like, this is kind of bad if he has Walking Ballista, but other than that, it feels fine. We have both our two powerful spells on the floor table, and it's going to be pretty hard for him to deal with both. And there goes our approach, probably. Could get to Fairy, though. All depends on his hand. I think it makes most sense that he gets rid of approach. Getting way too close to casting it. Yeah, blue-white cycling is fine if you expect a lot of control decks. I just don't expect very many control decks anywhere. So they hit a Doomfall. Oh, I want to get rid of this. I don't think so. Think I can, like, Doomfall their thing? I will give you 2 lands because I done the dumb thing again where I just pressed F6 and they could have drawn a card had they not pressed F6 as well. Oh, I'm playing your roommate for the Grand Prix? I think it's pretty bad versus the non-control decks as well. I wanted to be able to hold a seal away for the Belzenok, which is why I went ahead and kept that disallow. He knows we have the seal away, so he may just want to be he may just want to resolve something, or he may have a way to kill the seal away and like get more triggers out of the Belzenok. Or, okay, that works. I want to flip Search for Azcanta. They get to draw a card out of this, but us flipping Search for Azcanta feels more important. Because I feel firmly ahead right now. Like, they have all sorts of, like, cool things going on over there, but I'm not sure how much any of them matter to me. Like, Field of Runes are, like, one of, maybe a Sorcerer's Spyglass, probably the only 2 cards I even care about. But I don't know their deck list, so I could be wrong. It's easy to be wrong. Hey, Murph, thank you for the 15 biddies. I'm surprised you didn't spam them one at a time. We have our own histories, so that's not the end of the world. Hey, Cutting for Bieber, welcome back. What are these things? Uh, I don't really want any of these. I have to take one of them, though, I guess. No alert means no spam. I don't know how to turn on alerts. I tried. I was not bright enough. Yeah, well, this game's got a lot harder when we bricked on our Ascanta. He has an Ixalan's binding, so I can't play Teferi. Our opponent's going to like a pretty low life here, and I did board in creatures. um, Anticipate's a better Magic card, but I like being able to smooth my mana. Don't really like either of them very much. I guess I don't care about that. We just won't play creatures. I kind of bricked on another one of those. At some point we have to stop that, right? Yeah, I'm willing to concede I'm behind now. I am willing to concede that I'm behind. This is the first turn of the game where I've actually been willing to concede I was behind, and I basically bricked on 2 Azcantas. Apparently they did reprint Anticipate again, which means I have to find my promos. I don't exactly know where they're at, but I have to find them. It's odd to me that they sideboarded in Profane Procession when I specifically beat them with Approach game 1. Well, I have to counterspell that one. Well, I bricked on three Ascantas in a row. That makes life so difficult. We didn't sideboard out all of our sweepers. We still have 2, so you can have another Bloodfast. Guess technically I could have gave you the other card. I guess we just pass. Might be hard for us to keep it this time. So they might have enough creatures in play that we have to keep a sweeper. I have no idea how we lost this game. If we lose this game. It's a just take 4. looks like you get a land, friend. Swing and another miss. I guess I'm passing turn here. We know the 14 bottom cards of our library. Well, that can resolve. We have no good cards in our hand. If we did, we would have already played them. Yeah, well, I guess we're going to 2. So many things kill us. It's like insane at this point. It's hard for us just to beat a walking ballista because he'll have a discard spell. I guess you get a Dawnbringer then. At least the Dawnbringer is not particularly good. I had a cast out other than the one that was like very early in the game either. Could have looked for a Essence Scatter there, but didn't think it was worth it. Fortunately, we can't keep an approach if we hit it this time. Blink. So let's see how many discard spells they've gone through. 1 Duress, 2 Duress, and 3 Doomfalls. So the odds of them having a discard spell is probably going to be pretty high. I guess I'm supposed to keep the Settle anyway. I don't want to blink the Seal away because they have an Argos Bloodfast in play, so they can just like sack this and gain 5 life in response. But if we were close to dead, that's something we would risk. If we were super close to dead, that is something we would consider risking. I don't think it's worth it when they have the Temple. I didn't want to crack the land when we hit the Settle because we might have needed 4 land for the Settle next turn, plus 3 land for the Azcanthus activation, plus 2 land for a negate in case they hit a discard spell. So like I could actually use every land I had next turn. If I didn't redraw a land, I could have been in bad shape. That'd be a last resort too. Like I'm not confident we're dead, so I don't want to make a play like that unless I'm confident we're dead. And I'm just not confident we're dead right now. Sure. Hey, Proto. Not a lot. We missed on Search for Ascanta a bunch of turns in a row, and then the game got convoluted. You can't. Cast out doesn't target your own permanents. Is that the 5th activation? So we have 15 plus 4? 15 plus 4, is that right? We have 19 cards we know are on the bottom. Don't try to confuse you with big words. I don't think that I'm going to worry about this Teferi. Actually, I think I just am. It's kind of weird. Why is it? Hopefully they don't have their own cast out. We probably lose if they do. I think at this point in the game they just have like some kind of Vraska's Contempt or something, so I'm 100% not worried about trying to keep this Teferi going. I'll say they No, they never mind. Hey, did they forget to gain 2 life that turn? I think they forgot to gain 2 life that turn. The double seal away for the Lyra, so the Lyra is not a card that I care about. So binding, sure, they can have their binding back. Hey, Albert, thank you for the 15 biddies, my friend. You done streaming already? Oh wow, he's gonna get his Bells a knockback. May kill himself. I'm so tempted to just to try to kill him, but we won't. Alright, we wouldn't have got him anyway, so that worked out. I was really tempted to go for it. He's got to get rid of both of them. You can have a cast out or forsake the world. You can have like a million things here. They took the Glimmer? So they have 2 answers for Seal Away? Or do they just not care about it? Oh, wait. What am I not doing right here? Oh, they binding my Seal Away and I didn't notice it. I did not notice that they did binding the Seal Away. I thought they binding this. Well, I played that very poorly then. I played this very poorly then. We still have an out. We have a blink of the eye. Alright, I guess we're dead then. Because every good card in our deck was in like the top 6 cards or something. Yeah. There you go. Every good card in our deck was in our top 6 cards or something. We wasn't dead. We could hit Blink of the Eye still. And we'd used 5 activations of... Well, that was the 6th activation of Azcanta, so we'd already used 5 and practically bricked on all of them. So we'd saw 19 of these cards? Huh. That was a really hard game to lose, but we figured it out. Well, these back in on the play, I think. Actually, these games are just going too long. I don't want to draw those late. I do think I want this now. Probably should have had it already. Definitely want to get rid of some of these. Like, they were absolutely horrendous. Just going to bring in more rafts. Not worried about sealing away anything this entire game. Keepable hand. Yeah, I played that badly. I literally thought they cast Teferi. This entire time I thought that was on Teferi. I don't think it changed anything for me. Like, if I like reevaluate the board state, I don't think I make a different decision because of that. I just get sad that that happened. Like, I lost to a 5/5 that I refuse to think is even remotely good versus my deck. Anyway, our hand's pretty good. We have a negate for their first good drop. They've already mulliganed. Hopefully our Glimmer will be around. Thought I played that game well. But maybe I was missing more than I thought. Definitely going to counterspell that because I think Glimmer's better than Karn. And we could hit a counterspell for Karn anyway. Yeah, well, if we don't draw another spell, we're going to have a problem. It's the 3rd non-spell drone so far. Give him something to get. If we'd hit a Teferi or something with the 2nd card, he wouldn't have been able to take the Glimmer, and I think that would have been overall worth it. Could have buried the Glimmer and like shuffled it back in with the Field of Runes. Just something I considered as well. Don't know which one I like better. Kind of know he's taking Glimmer in that spot though. We didn't give him another choice. He could still just have a duress or something. That's a good draw. I love drawing counter spells the turn after they've used a look at my hand effect and saw no counter spell. I'd rather syncopate if I draw one, so. And they could not have. It doesn't feel bad to me. Like I felt like an unreasonable amount of things had to happen last game for us to lose. Like, it actively felt very hard to lose last game. At some point, I kind of want to Field of Rune that Scavenging Grounds. We brought Syncopate back in on the play. Oh, we didn't. Apparently, I misclicked or something then. Didn't I say I was going to do that? And then I just didn't do it, I guess? I'm pretty sure I said I was going to bring them back in on the play, and then I just didn't. Sounds like me. I remember saying out loud that I wanted to. Well, we have no spells now. Even with a glimmer and 6 draw steps, we've drawn 3 spells. Pretty impossible to win in these circumstances. Like, we cast Glimmer this game, and we've now had 7 draw steps, and we've only hit 3 spells. We put 1 on the bottom of Glimmer. Probably still in okay shape as long as we hit something. Before he plays something relevant. Well, he played something relevant, so now we probably have to do the approach thing or we can't win. Like, we're just dead on board next turn if we don't. We can't do the approach thing because of that, so we have to draw Settle now, I guess. Settle's the only card that saves us. It's going to be a very annoying way to lose. There's more draw steps than that too because we cantrip. So it was technically, what are we on, turn 9? So 10. 10 draw steps and a Glimmer to draw 3 spells. $11 draw steps. Well, that's fun. That's a nice way to waste an hour of my life. To run about as poorly as I've ever ran in 2 games in a row that I don't think I can physically lose. I'm actually kind of salty now. Like, those black-white decks really can't beat approach, but when we see 53 cards and don't find our approach, it's kind of hard to win. More mulligans. We 5-0'd the last league we played on stream, so apparently we're not allowed to get to play Magic anymore. Is that how it goes? If you're anybody other than Matthew Folks? What is this deck? The mono blue fly thing, or are they playing the pro or the? Yeah, they're playing the combo thing. We took out our Invoke the Divines out of our sideboard today because 70% of our matches over our past 4 streams have been red decks. So we kind of like tried to build our deck to beat red. Or make some changes to beat red. Just no red decks. Yeah, we're pretty strong favorite in game one if we draw counter spells, but who knows? It's like kind of hard to lose game one. Kind of need that card. Need counter spells more. Could have killed this turn, I guess. Not killing this was probably wrong. I have not saw it. Yeah, this costs a whole lot of mana for not much of an effect. Well, I guess we can't get rid of that one, even though it's not particularly good. But if we don't die this turn, it might save us on a later turn. Putting a card on top bluffs, negates, and stuff too when you're making a play like that. Yep, that resolves. That also resolves. At this point, they can kill us without comboing. They can literally just play enough spells to win without doing anything special. Always yield to that because it's getting on my nerves. Guess I can always tuck it and try to counterspell it on the way back, but doesn't feel like it's something that's likely to happen. It is what we're going to do, though. Could always cast Rivulet if we knew they didn't have more than one, but I think these decks play a bunch of them now. I could be wrong, but I think they do. Probably going to shuffle it away regardless. Excuse me? I guess they can have their card. I'm not sure what that does, but that's fine. Guess it kills Teferi next turn. Makes her Mox Amber actually tap for colored mana. Well, that one has to be counterspelled, right? Feels like that one had to be counterspelled. Maybe it doesn't. Right on time, Essence Scatter. Right when they need to play no more actual spells, and it will draw 2. Nice timing, Essence Scatter. Whoops. I guess I'll untap his colorless since I did the thing again. I have to pay attention to that. It's so easier to do in real life. On Moto, you just want to press F6, and you can't press F6 and get around that trigger too. Casting another reverse engineer? That's a lot of reverse engineers. Taking small pauses here just to pretend like I have counter spells. But we've only drawn 20 cards, so there's no reason for us to draw more than one counter spell. That'd be greedy to try to get more than one of them at this point. Okay, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, well, they can't cast a 4-drop post-combat, so at least that's nice. I guess we don't need those anymore. We have this thing now. It seems like it's just better. Alright, well. I have a bunch of cards. Don't care about that. Oh wow, I forgot to untap the Search Rascanta. I'm such a bad Magic player. Definitely on tilt, I think. I'm probably not actually on tilt, but... Pretty impressive that I didn't. No, stupidity. Pure stupidity. Pure stupidity. No good reason. I'm a dum-dum. I think I'm mentally fried from the last match that took like an hour and 10 minutes or whatever the hell it took. Yeah, I don't care how many cards you draw. Like, my plan's literally to rivulet you to death, so... Probably should have took the cast out instead of the approach, since I was just honestly don't ever plan on casting approach this entire game. I plan on finding a way to mill them 21 cards. 13, because we already have our 2 rivulets in play. Have counter spells in their main deck? They do have counter spells in their main deck. But that could be a problem. I didn't expect that. Didn't expect that. I guess I have to let that resolve? Because I'm bad? Because I'm bad. I don't think this game was possible to lose, and I think I lost it very badly. Due to play mistakes. No, my line was just stupid. I thought I was going to be able to syncopate it. I did bad math. Like, I'm just playing trash now. Every intelligent person should just turn this stream off. I'm playing so bad. And the game's over, too. Like, we're just dead. Definitely threw this game away. They have to have a 1-drop. That's unreasonable that they don't have a 1-drop here. Can I disallow this trigger? Like, I know I can physically disallow this trigger, but is disallowing this trigger a reasonable plan? I don't care if it is or if it isn't. Oh no, I'm playing terrible right now, Albert. Like, I knew it physically worked. I didn't know if it was a reasonable plan, though. Like, letting that resolve feels to me like I just lose. And we don't have anything else to use this on. So it's their next card. Is that right? I think it's the next card. They've not drawn an extra card this turn yet, so... so we got that one. Even if they don't have another, they will have access to probably some committing memories. They still have access to a ton of mana because of this. I played this game very badly. I feel like we could actually be in a really good spot right now if I was playing better. Kind of lacking on blue mana. Can cast all 3 counter spells though, so. What are they tapping now? Yeah, you can draw whatever you want. I'm literally trying to mill you, so I guess I don't care about things like that. Kind of want to cast out this, and if we get to the end of his turn and I have any mana open, I would rather use cast out than Ascanta. There's only one more disallow in our deck anywhere anyway. Alright, draw your cards, friend. Okay. Looks like we're not using that cast out anymore, friends. Take our last disallow. Turn this into a blue mana. Alright, well, I guess we just passed turn. He can have his lands back even. If he's casting things on my turn, I don't care. We have every counter spell in our deck, so we don't need to use Ascanta or anything anymore. So they had 2 cards left after this. Alright, well, we won game 1. We should be so proud of ourselves. We played so perfectly. You seem like you're reasonable, but you're not good. Same can be said for all of you. The same can be said for all of you. So don't think I'm ever casting Approach in this match. I think it's just way too much mana. I don't know if they have any sideboard plans that let them alter what they're doing or anything. But if they're not, then we don't need any of that crap. Like, I don't know if they have a backup kill condition or anything. Like, I don't know if they have a non-combo way to win. Maybe I'll just keep these just in case. They're good versus the brawls anyway. Aren't you streaming anymore, Al, or are you done for tonight? Let me log on Twitch and see if, oh, Albertros is there. Log it off so early. You ain't got no hot, Albert. And we snap keep this hand. You ain't got no hot. My friend just told me that Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man's on Amazon Prime. So I now know what I'm doing tonight. Somebody asked me once why I always play Glacial Fortresses instead of basic lands on turn 1. I don't have a good reason that I do. Saw Brad Nelson do it once and I just copy him. With every part of my soul I copy that man. I'd rather hold up Negate than play Walkie for 1. Alright, you can have that. It's going to annoy my history, but it will not beat my history. Don't care if he has a counterspell too bad much here. He mulliganed a whole bunch, and we have a blink of the eye if he does get to resolve something, so it's not the end of the world. I'd rather just put the pressure card down and see if we can win the game with it. That being said, this is different. I'm going to hold up counterspells now and just play this for 1. Well, I think this was before that. That's fair. I mean, I would do it in. I never cycle cast outs versus blind opponents, but in the situation we were talking about, there wasn't cast outs, weren't in any of these hands or whatever. I'm just talking about in the relevant state, but yeah, I guess it does hide a little information. I kind of want to counterspell that just because he's mana screwed, but I'm not going to. I'd rather just pony up this Walking Ballista, start getting this game over with. We have a handful of smash. What is up, Yoda? Hope you're having a good morning. Pressing F6 too, so if they have a way to blink it, they've just got me. Whew. That's fun. Don't you dare. They could have had like Metallic Rebuke or Spell Pierce or like a bunch of things. Show you how much I care. I play right into them. Could have actually killed this to turn off Metallic Rebuke, but like I'm just not really that worried about it if he counterspells this. I actually think this card can just win the game too. Especially when our hand's crazy good or whatever. Yeah, I missed a bunch of land drops. I probably wouldn't negate that. I'm doing great. I don't know what you're talking about, Yoda. Things are going great. No matter what time it is, gotta be loving life. We are losing horribly badly today in Magic as well. That just makes things funner. I'll be a little bit more cautious on what I use the following counterspells on. Yeah, you can have that. You can have another land. I'm fairly confident this game's over. We attack for more than lethal next turn, and we can tuck the blocker. We can even cast out an additional blocker, or like blink of an eye, an additional blocker. We have 2 counter spells in our hand, so I think it's going to be hard for him to resolve something that makes us not win, but I won't say it's impossible. I would say I just feel like we're highly favored at the moment. I think we're highly favored for there to not be another turn. You can have that card. It doesn't stop us from. It doesn't stop us from not winning. Only counterspelling things that stop us from not winning. That doesn't stop us from not winning. That doesn't stop us from not winning. Nah. Alright, we're on the boards with a win. Feeling good. Hey, I'm a killer. Thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate it. What did we lose to in our first match? I don't remember. Hey, we get to keep a 7. I know it was something good for... Oh, it was Drakehaven. Oh, we just got smashed by Drakehaven match 1. So you're supposed to O2 drop leagues at a high win rate, but I played them out because of the streams or whatever. Uh-oh. This hand gets considerably less good when they're on mono red. We've asked for this match all night. Let's see if we can actually beat it, or if I've just been crazy. This hand's pretty bad versus it, but that's okay. I usually counterspell anything I can counterspell in these matches, especially if I have a follow-up counterspell for the next turn. The only way that's bad if they have exactly a second Beaumont Courier. If we'd had that Silhouette last turn, we probably would not have counterspelled this turn. And I know it sucks that we won't be maybe can't use the Memorial to Genius next turn. Or sorry, can't use the... It sucks that we may be tapping, or maybe playing an untapped... Shut up, Ray-Ban. You can't talk. It sucks that we may be playing a tapped Memorial next turn, but I think it's worth it to hold up Silhouette on that turn in case they didn't have a 3. Because a lot of the times they don't have 3s right now. A lot of these decks don't play Chandra, so I'm just not respecting Chandra. I think it's pretty good versus Blue-White Control, but I think it's pretty bad versus a lot of the other decks in the format. I think that's one of the reasons that it's not really popular anymore. I like the play style of it too. We might stream it sometime next week. I told somebody I would stream one of their decks. It might have been Turn Edwin, his Sapperling list, but I know I have to do at least one more black-green stream. Probably be on Thursday, maybe on Friday. It's probably going to be on Thursday. Alright, well, you can have that. Only attacking for 3 feels great. I don't like only attacking for 3 because it lets us have an opportunity to like just draw a Fumigate or something and do a lot better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of want to keep both of these, but they're probably neither actually worth keeping. I like bluffing that we have no effects or anything. Just attacking with Beaumont this time? That would be weird. They attack with 2 creatures, any 2 creatures we cast to settle. Alright. At least we know they're not resolving anything this turn. We can disallow this trigger in a little while too if we like really want to. That was a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Guess I'm not going to get rid of that. We'll put them both on bottom. Rip. Was really wanting to hit a land. Maybe I should have kept the land because of that. Second Beaumont Courier is brutal here. I don't think we've drawn a Fumigate tonight, have we? In a spot where we could actually play it? Okay, well, we're probably dead. Don't think there's a card we can actually draw that's good anymore. I think we're going to manage to lose a game that I actually, again, felt was won. Maybe I'm just misjudging these games. I felt several of these games were won tonight that we've lost. Find it hard to believe that we're going to take a hit from one of these and 3 cards not be able to find a way to kill us. Well, I think I'm just going to take the 2 damage then. It changes shocks and like give you Lavamancers, but like maybe there's a way for us to like gain 7 life or something next turn. I don't know. Maybe there's a way for us to like tuck and disallow. So you get 2 cards. This feels really hard for us to win. Like a burn spell kind of kills us. So they have 2 cards in their hand. Beaumont Courier doesn't do much. Gives them a redraw and us go to 1, but us being at 1 doesn't seem like it matters. I feel like I'm just supposed to not care here. Feels like we're far enough behind that if he just has a burn spell, we're dead. Not going to tap below disallow mana though, in case somehow we're still bluffing it. Because he's got one card in his hand, and I'm wanting him to play around as many things as possible. Like, I'm just trying to bluff things at this point. Yeah, so he had a mountain, so it would have probably been fine. I'm literally just trying to bluff as much as possible at this point, because I think all we have to do is untap one or two more turns, and we're a good favorite to win. Don't care about that card. Flame of the Keld, I also don't care about. I am playing to win. Yeah, but if he has it, he may not cast it. Like, why put myself in a situation where he'll 100% cast it? Like, they may not cast it. I feel really far ahead. Well, not really far ahead, but really far ahead, if I get an untapped step or two, I mean. But yeah, I'm going to cast out the Flame of the Keld now. And we have a counter spell up for like a burn spell, and I don't care about the other thing. If he plays the land, I can use the Azcanta here, so I'll untap the Azcanta. I will not tap below this disallow, though. Like, if he keeps a card in his hand, we will not use the disallow. Or, sorry, we will not use the search. Let's start with this. We have two hard counter spells, so we can definitely use this wherever it went. It's like trying to hide on me over there. Take the blink. So now they need to try to overload on spells in one turn, and we need to be able to keep as much interaction as possible for that turn. Another Flame of the Keld. We can let that resolve. We're going to use the negate here. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could just get value out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have no other cards going on right now, and we still have a Silhouette to be able to beat this. She knows we have the Silhouette, he saw it. They make us play it anyway. Take our approach. I'm not going to cast it this turn. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not going to cast it this turn. Just going to play this. So now we can stop a creature or we can stop a spell, and next turn we're going to gain life. So the game's over. Alright, well, I did not expect to win that game, especially from where we were. Kind of sucks that we're playing the Flame of Kel build again, especially because, as I've said, we shaved on an Invoke the Divines, and that's really coming back to bite us today. I want these in this match. I want these in this match. I think versus this version of the deck, maybe I want these, but maybe I don't want these. In general, you generally take out your Search for Azcantas. You generally take out like a bunch of the disallows. They're just a little bit too slow. I think this is what we're going to run with. Oh, a bump or something inside my ear and it's driving me nutty. This hand's on the weaker side, but it is a keep. Like, we have 2 interactive spells, but I think it's still okay in this build. This is kind of a more go whitish build. They have the lava runners. They have a bunch of like 1-drops, but he's got the hard hand to beat. I definitely do not want a disallow on the draw. Like, it's something I'll consider on the play, but I don't like them on the draw at all. Alright, so we'll counterspell that. Then we can seal away this, I guess. Or I guess we just hold up another counterspell since we drew it, and we're going to take some more damage. I don't understand what you're asking, Yoda. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm just not taking the damage. We have double cast out. If I didn't have double cast out, I'd probably take this damage. A lot of these builds don't have Chandra. Well, that's bad. Alright, so we're dead to Hazoret, but, I mean, they had a really good draw. They had a 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty hard to beat those draws on the draw. Need to draw a land pretty badly here. It's not a land. This is at least a reasonable spell. They played another mountain. Can't really counterspell that. We have to hold up to settle. We're very likely only going to attack with one thing now. And that causes issues. I don't think they'll attack with both. Especially when we just didn't play anything versus two things. Oh wow, well I guess they will. Never mind. Alright, so we need them to hit lands, and or we need both of us to hit lands, I guess. Can't let them draw the extra cards. So Hazoret kills us, Chandra basically kills us. Anything else, and at least we have redraws. If they brick one turn and have a land, we're in okay shape because of the Syncopate. Or if it's just like a burn spell. We're not great shape, but I mean, could be worse if it's a burn spell. That's a good one. It's not good enough if we draw an untapped land, though. Got there. Burn spell into Hazoret's the only way we really lose now. Or like Lightning Strike plus this attack isn't enough. So Burn spell puts us at 8, Hazoret puts us at 1, so I guess we just win. Can't think of anything they can do to do 11 damage. But I'm sure there's some spell. Can't even be Fight with Fire because they don't have enough lands, so. Approach getting there just in the nick of time. Alright, well, we went to 4. And there we go. Double approach still gives you the chance, the opportunity to beat or to win matches that you were not close to winning. Does anybody know what Venom 1 has been playing in leagues? Assume he's just like playing Black Red or something because it's Venom 1. The last deck it showed of his is in Standard was Mono Green Stompy, but that was over a month ago. Just don't think he's still playing Mono Green Stompy. He apparently smashes the Popper Challenge on the weekly though. Still have so much work to do tonight. I like Jabber's pretty good. Also like the Owen build's pretty good. Date of his last trophy? His last trophy was today. He gets one basically every day. I think this hand's good enough to keep. It's like pretty bad versus a lot of decks, but I just don't think you can mulligan every one of these hands. Guess we will bluff and play a Plains. Maybe I could have just played the Island here. So if they're black, if they're blue-black, we're a massive favorite game. Oh, well, if they're that blue-black, we are not a massive favorite. And they have Search for Azcanta, so the game's probably over. Like, Search for Azcanta is that good that the games are often just over when people play them. Don't want him to see my hand. Disallow would be nice. That's not a disallow. They quickly dumped that contempt. They didn't even consider it. I wonder if it's because they have a contempt or because contempts are relatively bad in this match and you probably sideboard a few of them out anyway. And that's going to resolve. Well, this is how quickly you can just lose the Search for Azcanta. It's about to flip already. Need to find one of our 2 Field of Runes before it's too late. Those were reasonable that we just play Teferi and tuck it and say the hell with Teferi, but probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to make him cast down it. On the positive note is if we draw approaches, his deck's kind of slow, and that's often enough. The sideboard games are horrendous, though, so it is important that we pick up this first game. I would go further than important and say it is crucial we win game 1. Some of these decks have Supreme Wills and stuff like that, so I would rather go ahead and use the cast down on their turn, or cast out on their turn. Well, JK, now that he's playing Glimmer, we're just 100% hitting this and hoping they don't have something better. Like a Liliana, that would suck, but that card flipping is too powerful. Let's see what they did with those 2 cards. They put both on top. They have Search and Argos Bloodfast in the main. That's probably about the worst thing possible for me. And they do have counter spells, we are right. Yeah, it just ends games. They have Bloodfast too, and they drew them both. They probably have one of each, and they drew them both in like their top 20. Oh well. This game's so hard post-board. It's really disparaging to lose game 1. Wonder if their hand's weak enough that they're considering they can... Nope. They're just shuffling our bro away. I'm guessing this game's over. I can't think of a world where we beat an active Bloodfast with this bad of a hand. Well, that's not true. I guess just drawing approach could be enough, but... You know what I'm like saying. Like, I think it would be incredibly difficult. Kind of just want to play this. I don't want to take more damage. It's too easy for them to sneak 1 point of damage through at some point in the game. With like a Walking Ballista or an Unanswered Scarab God after I lose a war. That I would rather get rid of the damage now. So that at least I have a few draw steps after them sneaking like one of those big spells through. Well, our hand's getting better. Our opponent is 11 cards deeper in their deck, 12 cards deeper in their deck, 13 cards deeper in their deck, and 14 cards deeper in their deck than us. Yeah, that has to resolve. Can't really disallow it because I just buy it back and it's better bought back, and I'd have to use 2 disallows on 1 champion. That's just too far to go down that rabbit hole. Well, they have a 3rd Bloodfast, so they have at least 3 of these enchantments. Now this one we can kill. It doubles the clock and it lets them draw multiple cards. What's unfortunate about that is they have a Scarab God next turn. It's just going to be insane. And they do have Supreme Wheels in their main deck too. Alright, well, this game's pretty much over. Always have the like backdoor approach outs, but they're super unlikely. Another land, and we're basically just Dobbs now. Can't really put my finger on their deck if they're more mid-range or more control, based on the cards they've showed us. Guess they're more mid-range? And we're now dead. Hard to win these games post-board. We definitely want this. We definitely want this. We definitely want these. And these. Not sure about this card. I do not want the gear hooks for sure. I don't think I want the Lyras. Especially when they have like Doompaws in their main deck. Because they're certainly not sideboarding Doompaws out. I just think this card's really bad and it's super hard to resolve here. I don't think we're going to win the game with these. And that causes an issue. If we can't win the game with the approach, like, are we going to win the game with those? Probably not. This doesn't look like something we're going to win, does it? Could just go completely crazy and bring all this in. I don't even know what I like here, because I don't like anything's the problem. Like, when you hate everything, what do you do? This just feels like one of our worst matches. I haven't a clue. I guess I'm going to shave one seal away. We've got Walking Ballista for Glint anyway. We're going to try to attack them. But I don't think it's super likely. I don't want to bring in the ones that like Scarab God's super insane versus. But you could be right. Maybe I'm supposed to bring the Gearhulks in too. Well, we had a chance because we had this in our hand. We now do not have a chance. In my humblest of opinions. JK, we got a chance. I have to play this, even though Memorial's kind of cool. Because we can't just let him like free cast a creature here. Moto at its finest for us. Don't want him to block here. I just want to keep attacking his life total. Because I don't want him to draw a million extra cards. I think this is one of our only ways to win. Maybe I'm supposed to leave Approach in too and just make him fight us from multiple angles. We can't block this turn. He can, but it's a chump block. He's taking a drink of water. I apologize, guys. And gals. I don't think they'll chump block. I think there's a good chance that they're going to draw a card at the end of their turn too, which means I'll probably go after the Glint. Maybe I can't go after Glint. Maybe Glint just gets to survive now. Because if they untap and play Scarab God, we would be in bad trouble, right? Yeah, them playing Scarab God would be too good. Exile a creature I control? Sure. I think I'm willing to go after this one now. Them having Essence Scatter still in their hands seems, or in their deck, seems insanely unlikely to me. So I'm just jamming Dawnbringer, because Dawnbringer's good versus Scarab. It makes them sack Scarab. Or it ties up their mana on like a Contempt. Either of those things I'm fine with. So we're probably going to flip this turn. So hopefully they can't get rid of both of our bros. And hopefully we draw a Disallow. The thing is, like, the way I sideboarded to try to win this game, like, maybe we slide in there and get this game at the narrowest of margins. But the odds are we're not going to. We drew exceptionally well, and this is like a one-trick pony. Like, we don't win 2 games like this. Which is why, like, the game 1 was so important. Sure. We're going to shuffle it away. So our Blink of Eyes pretty good here. They know we have a counterspell. So, we don't win. I don't think we win another game like that ever. I think that was us just like sliding in under the thing. Man, I would have really liked to have our Invoke in every match we played tonight. All 5 matches. Do not cut the Invoke out of this sideboard. I actively wanted it in all 5 matches we played. Am I lying? I wanted it versus the Mono Red match. I wanted it versus the Black White match. I wanted it versus the Drake's match. I want it in this match. What did we play in match 3? The first match that we won. I'm a total blank right now. I do not know what what our opponent played that round. Hmm. Don't know. Oh well. We'll go back to sideboarding now. I think a lot of these spells are worse on the draw than to play. Like, he saw this. Do we just sideboard it out now? Just feels like he's going to be more prepared for it. Feels like it's fairly easy for him to just beat, too. Why can I not think of what our third match was? Oh, it was the mono blue deck. The deck where I played, or the match where I played miserably. But it didn't matter because the matchup's so good game 1, and in game 2, our opponent drew none of the lands. No glint, please? Come on. Somebody done the math once and told us this was a 14% draw to have those two cards in your opening hand. I do not know if that is accurate math or not, but if it is, our opponent sure hit a hell of a lot of 14%ers versus us. Like a hell of a lot. Alright, well, we have to hit lands here. Our hand's great if we do. Whether they take the history here or the search or the essence scatter, I think it gives us a decent insight to what they've drawn. Wow, they had that. And we just don't have the land. Well, we can't give them an extra card, so let's just go ahead and bounce it and be sad. 5 rounds and no magic to be played this round. I guess we're just dead. 5 draw steps and we've not hit a third land. And our opponent's drawn incredibly well, but... well, not incredibly well, but like exactly what they wanted. We did somehow manage a way to them not draw any extra cards, which is amusing. It doesn't matter because they have this in play and they're ahead 4 lands, but it is amusing. Maybe if they didn't sideboard right, we can just like draw 5 lands in a row and 2 approaches or some ridiculousness and maybe get back into the game, but like, you know as well as I do the odds. The odds are not in our favor. I don't even feel like we can hold up Essence Scatter anymore. Like, if we draw a land, we probably just have to slam this. And if we draw a land, we probably have to slam this, and so on and so forth. So, like, this Essence Scatter is, like, basically not in our hand right now. Unless we miss lands, and that's a bad sign for us as well. So, yeah, we're just dead. On a positive note, I don't care too much that we're dead, but... I wish this deck up here was a little bit better versus green black snakes. If it was, I would play it more. Well, maybe our opponent left. Who knows? Considering they only have 1 land in play, it seems like they're tanking an awful good amount on this. Alright. If we don't hit a land this turn, we're going to scoop. We're probably scooping anyway, but we'll keep playing. I don't know if we could win if he doesn't play another spell the rest of the game. If we see one counter spell, we will scoop. Alright, GG. Oh well. I don't think the deck's that bad. I think we just got paired versus 3 really bad matches and didn't get any of our good matches. We got paired versus like 3 bad matches, like a rogue deck, which is irrelevant. You can't like really count it one way or the other. And we also got paired versus one like what I think is kind of like a 50-ish 50-ish match. So the fact that we went 2 and 3 is not the end of the world when we get none of the matches we want. There is literally no one online playing Standard, which sucks. So I guess we're going to host Z Magic again, who's playing Cube. Anyway, thank you guys so much for following. I'll have a Esper Control and a blue-black mid-range video going up on our YouTube in about 10 minutes or less. Probably more like 5 minutes if any of you guys care. But take care, everybody, and thanks for stopping by.